Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Tech Gamers World. In this video, I'm going to give you a first-hand look and tour of my gaming room. So let's get it started. So if you could click that like button and subscribe to Tech Gamers World, I'm always going to have new and exciting content from the worlds of video games and technology dropping all the time, and I would love to have you be a part of it. So with that said, let's get to it. So this is my gaming room. I've got a whole bunch of stuff in here that I use for video gaming and content creation because I love all things video games and technology. So let's start with what I think is the coolest stuff first, the video game systems. I've got all my video game systems here neatly set and organized on the stand entertainment center here. Now, the one thing you notice you don't see with the TV and the video game systems are any wires. I took a lot of time to get this set up right, the way I like it. I literally wired everything neatly. So, how did I do it? Well, first let's start with what I have. I have a Sony PlayStation 5, a PlayStation Portal, a Microsoft Xbox Series X, an OLED Nintendo Switch, an NES Classic, an Apple TV, an Atari 2600, and a HDMI switch. So, all the consoles, the PlayStation, the Xbox, the Nintendo Switch, the NES Classic, and the Apple TV, which is not a console, but still, it's a cool piece for my set, all come in to this 4K, 8K capable splitter. I know it's a little hard to see there. Let me see if I can get you some light here. There it is. This is a 4K, 8K capable HDMI splitter. It accepts 5 inputs, 1 output, and it has a USB-C power cord. And this is made by Avidgram. It's available on Amazon. It was really cheap. So what does it do? All 5 of the consoles and the Apple TV connect in to the splitter. It is auto sensing. So when you turn one device on, it will switch. Then the output of that device you would think would go to my TV, but it actually doesn't. If you look down here on the floor, you see a bunch of cables. The output from the splitter comes behind the entertainment center, behind my fan here, comes around the wall, underneath the shelving, underneath the desk, and over to my gaming computer. So what you see here on the screens is what you see there. That allows me to play from here and record content for live streaming and my YouTube channel. So I'll show you here how I can switch. So as you can see, the HDMI box is on input 2. If we change it to input 3 and turn on the stuff, we have the screen. So this is input 3, which is the Sony PlayStation 5. And you'll see, if I switch back over here, it is now showing the Sony PlayStation 5 screen. Now if I switch the input again to input 4, you will see the Nintendo Switch screen. And then if I switch over here, we see the Nintendo Switch screen. So I've got everything looped in. Now, how it goes to the TV is the cable comes back along the bottom, in, up through conduits in the wall to the TV. Now this TV is properly mounted, installed with the electrical behind it. There are no extension cords or anything like that run through the wall. This is just a standard Samsung 65-inch 4K TV. Nothing crazy, believe it or not. And it's, as you can see, the switch is going into sleep mode. So I'll switch back here to the Xbox. So that's how I do all my gaming. And I absolutely love it. When I originally set this up, I had the Nintendo Switch. Then I got the Xbox, the PlayStation. I used to have a PlayStation 4. Now I have a PlayStation 5. And I was moving cables around and that to record stuff, and it was just a pain in the butt. So I spent the time, did the wiring right. The HDMI runs exceed the standard recommended length for copper cables. So I installed fiber optic HDMI cables that are 8K capable. So when 8K becomes a thing and becomes the standard, I'm already ready for it. I would just have to replace the video card in the computer, video capture card, which is an Elgato 4K video capture card. Now up on the wall here, I've got my controllers. I mounted them. I've got my Xbox, PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, and just an extra Joy-Con holder. I've got Govee LED lights behind the TV that are dynamic. Right now they're set to just blue and green, which are my favorite colors. But it has this little camera up here, which is pretty cool. The camera watches the TV so that when you set it to dynamic lighting, the colors on the TV are reflected on the LEDs and they all change and move around, which is pretty cool. I'll put the link to the product in the description of this video if you'd like it, or you can just drop a comment and ask me for anything you see here, and I'll drop you a link to it. So up on my top shelf up here is just my collectibles. I like Legos, I like Star Wars, I like video games, so I put all my collectibles up here. And truth be told, it's stuff I don't want the kids to touch. So we've got some posters on the wall here. We've got a Visit Hyrule poster, but remember, it's dangerous to go alone. So never go to Hyrule alone. Here I've got something pretty cool. This is a roller coaster tycoon shadow box art of the original box art of Roller Coaster Tycoon, which came out in the 1990s. But if you look close here, it is signed by none other than Chris Sawyer, the inventor and creator and developer of Roller Coaster Tycoon. Here we've got my friend, the Stormtrooper. His aim's not so accurate, so he doesn't do a very good job of protecting the room. But here is some of my favorite stuff, my retro video game systems. So I've got my old school Nintendo, my Game Boy, and the Game Boy Advanced, and I believe this Game Boy still works. Sound and everything. It's one of my favorite games to play, the original Donkey Kong on the NES, the Game Boy. I've got over here more Game Boys and the Advanced, the Nintendo 3DSs, the Super Nintendo back there. I've got Nintendo 64. I've got a GameCube, some third-party Nintendo Switch controllers, my original, very first Nintendo Switch, the non-OLED version. Here is a Wii U and the original Wii. And down here below, I have my Thrustmaster T-Flight HOTUS 1 flight stick and Thrustmaster T-Flight rudder pedals. Then, back to my desk over here. Just got your basic setup, an L-shaped desk with a bright green gaming chair, because as you can see, I have a thing for green and blues. Got my Microsoft Surface here, which I use for video editing and other stuff. I've got more gaming controllers here, which I'll talk about here. These are my Super Nintendo and NES controllers. These are third-party aftermarket controllers that feature wireless connectivity. So you plug this into the Nintendo or Super Nintendo, the remake ones, and then it has a USB dongle that connects. Alternatively, here, you can plug just this into a PC. This is a USB-A dongle, and then use these controllers with emulators, because I do a lot of video game emulation for the older retro stuff on my gaming computer. I've actually got some videos of it up on my YouTube channel. Got some Nintendo characters here. I've got USB ports for my PC and USB ports for my consoles. So part of those cables, the one top cable that runs here, I know it's a little hard to see, but that top cable is a USB cable that runs back to the video game systems, and I can actually move that cable between to get USB ports. So when I'm playing flight simulators or other games, I don't have to drape a cable across the floor to plug in a flight stick, for example. I've got a Yeti mic here that I use for content creation and video game streaming, and a desk lamp to light up the area here. I've got your basic couch futon here, and these are one of my favorite things in the room here. The Legend of Zelda pillows, throw pillows. I got these from Nintendo store, and they are one of the favorite additions to my gaming room here. I have two of them, and a Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild blanket, which is essentially a world map. And over here is just another little thing here. I keep various cables in here. My Xbox Lite. I've got a couple of these around the room. I've got Xbox, I've got PlayStation, I've got Nintendo, and of course, nothing else but the Ninja Turtles protecting the lamp. And these lamps are touch sensitive, so as you can see here, turn them off, you can turn them on, which is nice. They've got various settings, 1, 2, 3, and then I have USB-A ports in all the lamps there. So that's it. That's my setup. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. As always, if you have any questions or comments or would like to know where I got something you saw in my gaming room, please drop a comment down below and I will get you the link to it. Don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to Tech Gamers World. I'm always going to have new and exciting content dropping all the time. Thanks a lot, everybody, and I will see you around. Keep on gaming.